Welcome to this edition of PADNET Presents. I'm your host, Derek Simpson. And on this program, we try to introduce to you guests that will inform, engage, and empower you by the stories that they tell. And we're proud today to have someone very special with us, and that's Dede Rossi, who is the Belmont Shore Business Association Executive Director. Welcome, Dede.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Belmont Shore is one of my favorite places to hang out, and whenever I'm down there, I joke with people and say, wow, if I believed in reincarnation and never came back, I'd want to be a dog in Belmont Shore because they seem to have the life and businesses just love.
Yes, the dogs.
Families
we are definitely
pets.
dog friendly and family friendly.
Yes, you are. So before we get into your job, let's talk more first about you, because I like on PADNET Presents to sort of introduce the personalities that we are speaking with. And you started out as a Long Beach girl, right? Wilson graduate?
Yeah, I grew up in Long Beach. I grew up on the west side, and then I have kind of come full circle, ended up on the east side, went to Wilson, Long Beach City College, and just kind of did a few different things along the way, and started getting involved in the athletic department at Long Beach State, and they offered me a job, and it was like, oh wow, I feel like I'm in this new career, you know. So it was in fundraising.
Yeah. So for those who are watching who are young people, because I try to always, as I said, inform, you talked about how you got into the athletic department and then it ended up being a job. What do you think they observed about you as that young person there at the college that made them say, wow, I think she's someone who we'd like to hire?
You know, I think it was that I had a lot of confidence. I probably didn't have as much as when I was younger, but I was in my 20s, and I kind of always felt like a fighter, and I thought, you know, it just kind of came with it, and I just had a lot of confidence. And the part of fundraising that's in marketing is you're not really afraid to ask people for things. And so I think when I volunteered for them, they kind of saw that, wow, she might be pretty good, you know, getting out in the community and talking to people. And I say hi to everybody. Even my kids are like, Mom, do you have to say hi to everybody? But it's like, I don't know, they're there, you know. And so I think that was just part of it. I learned a lot. You know, I didn't know everything while I was there, of course, but you learn along the way. But I think part of that, how I felt and how confident I was, really helped me get that job.
So you go from volunteering to fundraising, and by the time you ended your tenure there, what was your title?
I was an assistant athletic director in charge of development. So, but I had done everything. You know, we raised money. Right. You know, when we had football, we cooked, you know, chili at Vet Stadium, you know. I mean, we did everything, down and dirty, and then, you know, into having big fund drives, special events, and things like that to raise money. But I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience. And
okay, so you said football. So in your day there, then they still had the
we had football.
team.
We even had the Save the Football years. So we had our last couple coach. George Allen was our last before he passed away, and then Willie Brown was our last coach. So it was very sad, but it was understandable why they had to do it. But oh yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah, I know, and I'm being from Mobile, Alabama, I know the irony is the University of South Alabama just launched a football program, whereas the University of Alabama Birmingham, who's had a program for years, just terminated their program. So when you talk about athletics, you're talking millions of dollars to keep those programs going.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of kids you have to take care of. You know, there's at least 100 kids on the team. That's a lot of scholarships, a lot of coaches. So it's very expensive. I see it happening, and it's too bad, but that's just the way it goes.
Now, you were at the college, you put in your time there, you decided you wanted to just retire, breathe a while, and then somehow the Belmont Shore Business Association came on your radar. How did that all transpire?
Well, it's interesting. I work out the Belmont Athletic Club on 2nd Street, and I was just happened to be finished working out, and I was kind of walking by a place, and the BSBA was coming out of a meeting, and the president at the time said, hey, do you want to be the executive director? And I said, sure. They had asked me a couple times through the years, and of course I said no, but it was just timing. It was, you know, really good. I'm real familiar with the community. My best friend was the executive director before the girl who I was replacing, and it just seemed natural. So I enjoyed it.
Okay. When Blair Cohn from Bixby Knolls Improvement Association was here, he talked about that association's geographic boundaries, and it impressed me that it seemed to be like little clusters of neighborhoods. It wasn't like a stretch, but I get the impression that the Belmont Shore Business Association is more of a, you know, it says 2nd Street and 15 intersecting
Yeah, I
streets.
think ours are easier to define than
Right.
maybe his, or especially downtown, but ours goes from Bayshore, on 2nd, Bayshore,
Okay.
all the way down to Livingston, and then all the side streets to the alley. And then after that, you have residents.
Right.
So it's pretty easy to define on that.
Yeah. Now, we started out talking on the show about the fact that it's very family friendly and dog friendly. Was that something that your association focused on as an objective, or is that just organically how 2nd Street has always been?
Well, I think it's always been family friendly. Some people can say, you know, the nightlife might be more bar friendly, but we have a lot of nice restaurants, some great shops down now. The dog friendly thing, I think people just like to, you know, get out in the morning or afternoon and go take their dog for a walk. You know, we do have some problems with being too dog friendly. You know,
Right.
Some people don't pick up their dog poo,
Yeah.
but you know, that's kind of the problems that we face, but there's a lot of things, it could be worse, so.
Yeah. Always
Yeah.
could be worse.
Could be worse, could
Yes.
be worse.
Now, and I notice businesses come and go. I mean, I have my favorites that I like to frequent and sit out, but do you have a waiting list of people that are trying to get down there, or how is the economy
No,
affecting
I don't
everything?
really get involved in that because all of the buildings are pretty much owned by, a lot of them are trusts, you know, different families.
Gotcha.
So they pretty much can rent to whoever they want. There are some restrictions if you're going to open up a restaurant, because you have to have the parking and the seating, so there's a lot of that. But I think people have that concept that Belmont Shore is such a great place, and it is, but you know, it's expensive to rent down there and lease, and you have to be prepared. You have to have money behind you. You can't just go in there and think, oh, I just want my own business. You should probably go somewhere else if you're going to do that, where the rent's a little bit lower. But you know, you have to keep up with the times. You know, the people that have been there for a long time, they change their product. You have to get on social media. You have to do the different things, and you have to change it. You know, you can't be that same product all the time. And like our restaurants are changing, you know, we have gastropubs now. It used to be Mediterranean, the Mexican flair, you know, the Italian. And I think our street sort of changes with that, which I'm really happy about.
You mentioned parking, and I know all over Long Beach parking seems to be an issue. And when I once lived in the Belmont Shore area, I often wondered, man, why can't they just give us as residents a special marker or something to put in our car so we could park in the parking lots on the beach or something?
Well, we've heard
you know,
that,
at
and I
night.
think there is a place, you know, if you live near ocean, that you can actually do that. But
Oh, okay.
I think it's kind of give and take. You know, there's probably a lot more people down there. I think the houses, when they were built, you know, everyone had one car in their family, and now they build them up, and there's probably 4 people in that family, on an average family driving. So they have one little garage, you know, and people use it maybe for storage. So
right.
that's hard also on
Yes.
that end. And then on our end too, you know, we only have 2-hour meter parking, but you know, it's just only so much you can do. But people come and go, and I've never really had any problem like getting into work and parking. I kind of have my space. We're always working with the residents, trying to figure out a way to work that out. We're getting new parking meters coming up.
And that's
The next
citywide,
90
I
days.
understand it,
Yes,
right?
I know Belmont Shore started that. Our parking commission wanted to do that, where you can actually take a credit card and swipe it. And it's easier. I mean, I traveled up north with my daughter in the summer, and you know, it's easy just to go in. You don't really know how much. I'm not going to have quarters with me, so.
Yeah, when I'm in Beverly Hills or Santa Monica, I believe as well, they have that, and it is much more convenient to just pull out your card.
And I don't think people look at the price on them, but when you're putting quarters in, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess the price will go up a little bit, is what I heard, but it still won't be that bad. I think people will be happy. Ours is still the lowest parking in the city,
Now,
rate-wise.
right, and I noticed that as well. So the price goes up, but will the time allowed to park go up, or will it still be a 2-hour maximum, you think?
Now it's a quarter, half hour.
Right.
Well, now it's 50 cents for an hour, so it'll go up to 75 cents. But no, they can park there, and then you can put more money in if you want.
Okay.
But it's always been 2 hours.
Okay, right. Now, when you think about the things that make Belmont Shore unique as a business district, are there certain things that, you know, you mentioned the change in terms of the theme of the restaurants there, but when you look at the other business sectors around the city, what would you say makes you stand out? Of course, other than being close to the water, but.
Well, I think we have some unique shops. We have some great, like, women's shops down there now, some boutiques and some gift shops. And I think that those that are successful bring in a lot of people. So that makes it unique. We have, you know, places where you can get a massage, you know, we have a lot of hair places, nail places, of course, you know, there's always a lot of nail places because, you know, women need their nail places, but.
And guys need pedicures.
Yes, and guys, a lot more guys are doing pedicures. And yeah, and then we have like the Gap and Banana Republic and the Body Shop, and I think you need that also to draw people in, especially tourism. And you know, people coming to Long Beach, you know, they want to see those too. I think it's a good mix. We're not overpowered with a lot of corporate. And so what makes us unique, I think, is having the mom pop stores, you know, kind of add to it, you know.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned earlier as well the relationship between the community. You talked about the alleys immediately behind 2nd Street. And I know that there are a couple of restaurants / you know, bars that may tend to add to that angst, maybe some more so than others. But what do you do? How do you keep that relationship positive between the business community and the residents?
Oh, well, we go to their resident meetings once a month. They come to ours. When there's a complaint, I say, please, you know, you don't need to call your council person. You can just let us know. And we usually, you know, are on it. If we hear about something, trash in the alley. But we basically take care of that. We clean the streets. The parking commission pays for that. We're very lucky to have that. Our parking commission makes their money by the quarter that you put in the meter. We actually get 100% of that back to beautify the street.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
we have trash pickup twice a day. We have every other week we have steam cleaning. And then we have alley cleaning every quarterly. So we do as much as we can on that. Yeah.
And I noticed that Conservation Corps, I believe, was doing some of the trash can pickup. Is that correct?
We hire them, and they're the ones that pick it up, and they're really great to work with and very easy to get a hold of in case there's last minute little graffiti or stickers or something happened.
Right.
So they're very, very accessible.
Right. Well, I know that when you talk about cleanup, you have certain special events that tend to add a lot more to that job of cleaning than other times. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to share more about that and other special things that you might have coming up.
Great.
We're having a great conversation with Dede Rossi, who is the Executive Director of the Belmont Shore Business Association, and we'll talk more with her when we return. Come in. Charlie.
Yes?
What are you doing?
Sir, don't you know that LB cap is moving?
Welcome back to PADNET Presents. I'm your host, Derek Simpson, and on this particular edition of the show, we have the honor and the pleasure of joining us, Dede Rossi. Welcome
Thank you.
again.
Very nice.
It's been fun talking to you. Belmont Shore is one of my favorite places in Long Beach. I've lived on Corona there for a while, and I used to notice that for Corona, they would put the street sign way up high, and I always wondered why. And I guess it was because...
I think because you're tall, right?
Yeah,
Did
and
they
I
do
would
that
keep
for
stealing
you?
it and
No.
putting it in the backyard. Well, somebody was, because that's why they put it up high. But you have a mix of college students and long-term residents and a good eclectic mix of people living in the Belmont Shore area, correct?
Oh, we do. I mean, people have owned their homes there forever.
Right.
I know I had quite a few apartments when I was in my 20s, you know, moved around a lot. And yeah, we have college students, I would say.
Now, when you look at the patrons of the businesses on 2nd Street, do you find that there are typically people who live in that area? Or do you find that there may be more tourists that come as a result of the Convention and Visitor Bureau outreach? What's the dynamic
Well,
of that?
definitely a lot of regulars. Like, especially if you live around there, it's really easy to walk down. But, you know, our hope is to always get more out-of-state travelers. So we do work with the CVB and just to try to get our brochures out there. We take them to all the hotels and yeah, so we like the tourists, actually. They do very well for us.
Now, I guess one of the biggest events would be the Belmont Shore Christmas Parade, and you can correct me as I go along, but I know you have a series of special events, and I'd love to try to remember them all. I think I participate in as many as I can. But I know recently there was a Christmas parade that I attended, and you were out there in the streets holding the microphone and greeting all the dignitaries as they came up. Tell us how that experience is for you and the role that you play.
Oh, it was really fun. We've always had the same two announcers doing the parade, and I remember the first year I worked here, they had hired somebody, and she didn't really seem to know anybody, but I know everybody who's going to be in the parade. So, yeah, Ron from Charter asked me if I wanted to do it, and you know, it's not that hard. It's just actually more fun. The hardest part is them trying to take the microphone and they're telling you can't do it, or to climb up on that ladder with the with Santa on the fire engine.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I can't reach Santa, so I definitely need help on that. But it's actually really fun. You know, it's just the people are so nice, and you know, a lot of we don't just talk to dignitaries. We talk to different people. So
for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the other marquee events of Belmont Shore?
Well, do you like chocolate?
I do.
So we have a chocolate festival. It's always the Saturday before a Valentine's Day, and it's a way to promote Valentine's Day, so people shop and eat there. And so we also have a Stroll and Savor event. So we have the third Wednesday and Thursday in May, June, July, August, and September.
Now that's a favorite because that's
that
like a
is
big
huge.
Street party, right?
Yes. So the restaurants put their food out, you buy tickets, and people walk along. We have bands, and it's really grown. I mean, I think when they first started it 20 years ago, they had to get people from the outside to come in.
Right.
But yeah, it's gotten huge, and it's nice for people just to walk out and move around, and earlier you come, the better. And but the entertainment's always good up and down the street, so it's fun. And we also have a car show.
Now that's in September, I believe.
September, yeah.
And that's amazing. I saw a guy, this Chevy that he had once, and I just said, I'm sorry, but I gotta ask, what did it cost? And he said $100,000. It was like a '57 Chevy, but it was immaculate, So that's a premier car show, huh?
Yeah, people that have those cars love their cars. I mean, it's very important to them. We work with Bay City Rotters, and they bring in all the cars and the vendors on the street, and we basically work together and do everything else. But we only close the street twice a year, and that is Christmas parade and car show.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yes, we'll close side streets for this and that, but never the whole street. So those are probably the biggest events because we have to close the street down.
Now I know that the dog parades used to be down there, and I think one of them has moved to a park not far away. And
yeah, that's the Justin Rudd events.
right,
Right. It's just too big. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I think he had over 500 dogs this year, maybe even more. I don't even
yeah.
know. But they had to move to Marine Stadium.
Yeah, and PADNET has covered it on occasion, but you're right. I think there were 500 dogs.
Yeah,
at
that's
some
just
point.
way too many for.
And my granddaughter loved it, but talk about picking up dog poo. That would be quite a job for that parade.
No, those owners are usually very good about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
We
good.
don't worry about them.
All right.
But
Now,
it's the costumes.
yes, the costumes are outrageous.
Yes,
I mean,
they are.
They're so funny, and I think that my granddaughter Chloe and I were even thinking about hosting a show on it.
Oh, you should.
Just because of a kid's perspective, and she makes me a big kid when I'm hanging out with her. You also, I know, an event that I find fascinating was the art chalk
the
on
art
the
walk?
sidewalks. Those artists are phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that's one event that we actually do with Justin Rudd's group. I just noticed a couple years ago we were trying to do an art walk, and we invited artists to come on the street, and then Justin stopped doing the chalk contest.
Okay.
So I talked to him, and we decided to go together on it, and it's really turned out nice.
Okay.
The third Saturday in October, Art Month for Long Beach,
right.
and so it's really turned out to be much better. So he gets all the chalk artists,
Okay.
which attract people, and then we get the other artists, any kind of kids things that we have, like any kind of entertainment, face painting, things like that for the kids. So that has really grown.
I think that's important what you just say, because it shows that you're willing to, as I would say, put egos and logos aside and play to the strengths of the community. So for you and someone like a Justin or any other leader that came with a great idea, I would imagine if it's for the greater good of Belmont Shore businesses, you're open to such ideas. Is that a fair assumption?
I mean, anything to put the Belmont Shore out there, so whatever that means. So people do get confused, they ask me about an event, and I said, oh, that's Justin's event, but we're friends, we work great together, and we appreciate what he does. So
now I know in terms of big changes in that close proximity to Belmont Shore is clearly the Belmont Shore pool and that whole project. What are your thoughts on not so much what design was chosen, but the impact that the new pool will have on Belmont Shore?
Well, I was actually on that task force.
Okay.
And the last one they had, so it was very, very interesting. Just I was around a lot of people that had, the water experience, the swimming, the diving, this and that. But as far as the impact for Belmont Shore, we were so excited. I remember years and years ago going to swim meets all the time when it was in its heyday. I think it's going to be great. The temporary one is wonderful. A lot of people come down. There's plenty of parking down there for them. I don't think it impacts the residence area. Of course, somebody might watch this and then tell me different, but it's so nice, and to be able to have cars in that parking lot around Ocean Avenue and stuff. But I think it's going to bring a lot of NCAA events. It's going to bring a lot of people to the shore, and I just wish we had a hotel that we could just plop right in the middle of Belmont Shore, so we could put them there, though.
Maybe that's to come. Now, to be clear, Belmont Shore does not include the Naples Business District. Do they have their own association, or? Yeah,
we're actually a bid where a business owner will they pay into it.
Okay.
They have no choice. So that's why they can have an executive director and a board and this and that. Naples, it's all voluntary, and everybody's a volunteer, but they have a great group over there, and they, everybody just, they're all after the same thing, is to bring some business down, and they're a good group. They're just smaller than we are, but I know the president, he always comes to our meetings and things, so yeah, we work well together.
So in the few minutes that we have remaining, Dede, when you think about where Belmont Shore is today and you look forward under your leadership, are there any ideas or any vision that you have that if you could wave your wand you'd like to see happen? Well,
I'd really like to see a master plan. I know we want to redo the medians, and I know they opened the sidewalks up years ago, but just kind of change a little of the atmosphere, some of the signage. You know, I want to, you know, make it look like a unique little community that you'll find when you're traveling maybe up north into another little town where people walk in and go, wow, what is this? I think they do now, but I just think that I just want to keep it clean and nice, and I don't know, I just want to update it a little bit. But I want to see a master plan where, you know, like something like the pool where they had the master plan, but just update the whole city. I think it really would draw a lot more people there, and, you know, just be good for the neighborhood and definitely for the businesses.
Now, would that master plan be something that you would work with the city with, I would imagine?
The parking commission
Okay.
would work, and, you know, we'd all be involved in it. But yes, so those things are probably going to happen. So we're pretty excited, and definitely you have to work through the city where we only recommend things, so they definitely have to approve it. But
Right.
I'm looking forward to it.
And you have a new councilwoman.
Yes, Susie's great.
Yeah.
She just gets community. She lives in the community, and she's just excited.
Right.
And yeah, I think she would be willing to, you know, whatever makes her district look great. And we try to do that for her. So we want to make her look good too. So she makes us look good.
We found her to be very supportive of us here at PADNET, and whenever I've had personal interactions with her, she's been, you know, first class. So
Oh, she is.
I think you're very fortunate to have her as your councilwoman to work with you.
We are. We've been very fortunate the last few, actually. So I think we're really lucky.
Right. Man, we're almost out of time. I just want to thank you so much for sharing.
There's so much more about Belmont Shore you'd probably want to know. I'll have to come back.
It is. You will have to come back, and we welcome you back, especially as special, unique events come up that you would like to share. Belmont Shore is an important part of the Long Beach community, and we really want to thank you for your leadership and all that you do to make it that special place to live and to work and to own a business.
Thanks for having me.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Dede. Thank you for joining us on another edition of PADNET Presents, a program where clearly we strive very hard to inform and engage and hopefully empower you to take an interest in Belmont Shore or any other business or community event around our community. I'm Derek Simpson. Enjoy your day.